Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sheff United Way. How are you all doing out there? This is the start of a brand new season, and I want to see in the comments right now, in the live chat, how buzzing you are for the start of a new season. Obviously, it didn't end fantastically for the Blades last season, but we ended with a win. Even though we went out, we ended with a win, and we ended on a fantastic note. It's Watford versus Sheffield United. We are the last team to play in the Championship. It's at 8 p.m. on Monday at Vicarage Road. The match will be shown on Sky Sports Football in the UK if you can't attend. Now, flash up on screen the members. As always, we love you members. So if you want to join and become a member, just click the join button on YouTube and you will be supporting the lads forever. Well, I say forevermore until you choose to not support us anymore. But please choose to support us. It's £4.99 a month, and it will keep the channel afloat and keep us all very, very happy. Hal, welcome to the stream, my friend. Doodah, doodah.
Yeah, well, that's no, never do that again, please. Certainly not in my presence. Do that when you've got, say, Ollie on the channel, for example, who I thought did very well on that predictions video. If you haven't watched it yet, do check it out. I was chatting to a chap on Twitter earlier who said he'd not actually watched anything on the channel yet. Sent him a few links. He'll be a subscriber within seconds.
Exact, Amundo. And we're actually getting subscribers that aren't even Sheffield United fans these days, which is nice to see. We will take them, every single one of them. Now, how have you been doing over the pre-season? You enjoyed pre-season?
I hate pre-season. People who get upset about losing pre-season games. Oh, I want to win the pre-season cup. Pathetic. It means absolutely nothing. Results mean nothing. We've won all our pre-season games under rubbish managers. It's just a fitness test. It's a glorified fitness test. Read nothing into it. It's all about that first game on Monday against Watford, and we'll have a far better idea of how we stack up and where we are at full time after Vicarage Road. We'll panic then.
Yeah, thank you for that intro, Hal, because right now I'm going to be talking about pre-season. Now, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about pre-season. Now, I'm not going to go over the top because, as Hal says, there's no point in talking about pre-season because it doesn't matter. Now, the last two games that we played in pre-season, we'll just focus on those. They were both against teams a division lower. We've got Burton, where we hammered them 3-0, and we've got Barnsley, which we somehow lost that game, even though we had all the ball for pretty much the entire match. We against Burton, I think that was the B side, if you like, and we took them apart. Daniel Jefferson was absolutely fantastic playing against his old club, who he went on loan to for half of last season. Fantastic. Really showed that Daniel Jefferson really could have a part to play in this season. Same with Will Asula. He scored a couple of goals early on against Lincoln City too. And then in the Barnsley game, that looked like the A team that was playing. And we were okay. We weren't bad. We scored a goal, or we didn't score a goal because it was our own goal. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Like Hal says, hopefully we don't have to read into it too much. But yeah, weren't the best to end on a defeat. Anyway, we'll put it that way, Hal.
Yeah, I enjoyed Burton, by the way. Really good one to go to. Met a lot of nice blades, and I thought the finishing from Daniel Jefferson in particular was absolutely fantastic. Really encouraging. Maybe he has a big season.
Yeah, let's hope so. There's two young lads vying for, I think, maybe one striker spot, because we've got a lot of strikers at the club, many of them injured, which you will find out very, very soon. But I'll pass it back to you, Hal.
Yeah, let's talk about the fact that, one of the fun stats, our first 8 games, including League Cup. I mean, they're going to be played on 7 different days of the week. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but thanks to viewer Jeff for that particular stat. We're going to begin with last time out against Watford. So at their place, Vicarage Road. Got to go back all the way to the 5th of October 2019. A better time for so many reasons. A Premier League encounter, a forgettable one. Let's hope for a better game this time round. It was 0-0. Watford's manager that day was Quique Sanchez Flores, and he'd yet to oversee a single win that season. The Blades weren't great that day. I really, really hated this game, to be honest. The Hornets weren't great either, but they were probably slightly better. They did create the better chances, certainly. Andre Gray, Danny Welbeck, second half sub Craig Dawson, all missed good opportunities to earn Watford 3 points. Our stat, courtesy of Statsman Adam, for today. In 2009, the Blades won 2-0 at Vicarage Road with goals from former Watford players Super Danny Webber and Darius Henderson. Brendan Rodgers was Watford manager, and since that win, Watford have had 20, yes, 20 managerial changes, and Sheffield United have won once away from home on their first game of the season. That was Oldham in 2011. And you go back all the way to 1989 for that stat.
Do you know what, Hal? I would have liked to have seen how many managers the Blades had in that time to compare, because 20 sounds stupid.
It sounds like a lot.
It does. And I think Watford fans already know that they have a massive turnover of managers, and they're probably sick of it, to be honest.
Yeah,
so, fair enough. But no, that is an incredible stat from good old Statsman Adam. Now, I'm going to talk about the Blades team news for a second, mate. So, first of all, I'm going to quickly go through the injuries with you. Billy Sharp, doubtful, but could be on the bench. We may see Billy Sharp coming back in. But if I'm honest, I want to see Billy Sharp for the full season. So if there's an inkling of an injury, leave him out. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's only the first game. Jack O'Connell, I'm not going to talk about him too much. No return date on Jack. Adam Davis, it's looking like he's going to be at least a month, if not more. But obviously, Wes Foderingham will start in the goal anyway. Tommy Doyle, a very, very disappointing one, to be perfectly honest, because Tommy Doyle, for me, I think he's going to have a very, very good season. I think his second season in the Championship, he was fantastic for Cardiff last season. I think he's going to be even better for us this. But unfortunately, he picked up an injury in pre-season, and he's going to be at least a couple of weeks away. Same with Ollie McBurney, both training right now, but not quite ready for first-team football. Obviously, Jayden Bogle, we all know he's been injured for such a long time. It's looking like it's going to be after the new year. I would have thought anyway. And finally, I'll quickly touch on new signing Reda or Reda Kadra. I don't know which way we're going to go with. I've heard both been said by people inside and outside the club. So unless we hear from him, we're probably just going to keep calling him different names. But he is not match fit. He's nowhere near match fitness, but he is injury-free. He did tell us that on one of the interviews. So he is injury-free, but not match fit. So I'm not expecting him to start this game, which takes us perfectly into the lineup. And this is my lineup. This is not what I expect the team to be. And I'll tell you why. I expect Wes to be in the goal, Basham Egan, Ahmed Hodzic, Anel Ahmed Hodzic in the defence. That's what I'm going for. But I think that Kieran Clark will play left centre-back, and I think Anel will play instead of Bash. But I didn't want to get killed in the comments leaving out Bash, because if I was the manager, Bash would play every minute of every game until he's 99 years old.
He's seen off all the people that have come after him, hasn't he, Nick? All these years, we keep bringing someone in that's going to replace Bash, and by the end of the season, it's Bash.
It's always Bash. It's always Bash is Bash at the end of the day. But I do think that Anel will eventually take Bash's place. I'm not saying it's this season. I think that they both should play. I think Anel Ahmed Hodzic, I need to stop saying his full name.
No, you're nailing it.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he will be there all season. And like I say, Bash needs to stay there. Baldock and Max Lowe, I think, will be the wing backs. Norwood and any other, I'll be honest, because I don't think Fleck has really shown that he deserves to be starting this game. But Fleck, I've put Fleck in there because I just think he's got that kind of longevity. So I want to see him there. And then finally, I've gone with Sander Berger, Illiman Njai, and Ryan Brewster as kind of Brewster being the main striker with those two kind of just behind him. I think it worked really well with Njai, Berger, and Morgan Gibbs-White last season. I want to see those two supporting a striker, whether it's Billy Sharp or Ryan Brewster. And we'll have to see. If we get a few more attackers back, we might even see Ryan Brewster and Billy Sharp playing up front together, because if Sharp is around, Sharpy's got to play for me.
Maybe eventually, as the season goes on, perhaps with certain players that might leave. And I just can't wait till we get to the end of the transfer window. And I believe the transfer window should close before the season starts, and you go with what you've got. But if we do, for example, let's say lose Sander, insert your pronunciation of his surname here, I think we could see us going with more like of a 3 up front and 2 on either side of a striker that are more like wingers. Someone like Rida Kadra, I think, will actually operate more on the right-hand side than centrally. But that might be how we change things to fit what could happen. Let's see. I really hope that Sander is a player with us for the rest of the season.
Completely agree. I'll quickly just run through some players that could be on the bench that kind of should be changing games, because we need, it's not just an 11-man team, it is a squad of players that are trying to get us promoted to the Premier League. So Rida Kadra, Billy Sharp could be on the bench. Asula, Jebo, like I said earlier, both have scored goals in pre-season. Ben Osborne, always there, always puts 100% in. Ollie Arblaster was in and around and playing a lot of games, actually, in pre-season. So whether he goes out on loan or he stays with the lads and tries to force his way through, it'll be nice to see. And finally, Koulibaly. He's a funny one, Hal. He's a really funny one, because some games he looks absolutely fantastic. Some games he looks off the pace. So let's see how he goes on throughout the season.
Yeah, scored in a behind closed doors match as well, and could be a secret weapon that not a lot of opposition sides will know a great deal about. And if you want to check out more about Ismaila Koulibaly, there is a video on this channel which gives you absolutely everything you need to know about him. Right, let's look at everything you need to know about the opposition, which is Watford. Imran Loser. Not a great surname. Well, you won't be saying that at Vicar of Drove, because he should be absent for Watford. He's got a knee injury, a loser's injury, quite literally. A mass exodus, as we know, occurred at Vicarage Road because they got relegated. Rob Edwards is the new manager. For how long? We will wait and see. He's managed to keep, though, in-demand players like Emmanuel Dennis, Ismail Assar, and the very popular goalkeeper, Daniel Bachmann. Manchester United apparently linked with him. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Leicester City, somewhere like that. But anyway, new signing, Mario Gaspar, has had little time to get acquainted with his new teammates. Might be left out. Ray Manaj and Vakun Issouf Bayo are ready to push for starts.
Well done.
So thank you. Well, let's go with their possible lineup. Bachmann, Turner, Overdrive in goal. Then Ngakia, Cabaselli, Craig Cathcart, he's still playing. Kamara, who Watford fans I work with tell me is actually their best player. Cleverly, he's still playing. Kayembe, Gosling, he's still playing.
Ryan.
Not Ryan. Sarr, Pedro, and Dennis. Now, they're trying, according to Watford fans, as you know this, Nick, to kind of change their formation and maybe go with a 3 at the back. But I'm not sure what they'll actually do. I've kind of speculated there a few options. Like they could play those players with a 3 at the back. They could play those with a 4 at the back. They've been experimenting with wing backs. Let's see. Let's also see how the referee gets on. It's Josh Smith from Peterborough. Josh, one of the youngest referees in the professional game. It's been so long since we've done these previews. I forgot to leave my pause.
It's not going away. It's not going away. It's coming back for a new season.
Good. So, yeah, he's one of the youngest. He started refereeing when he was just 14. Amazing. Oof. 2006. Woof indeed. Thus following in the footsteps of his refereeing father. Last season, he took charge of 38 matches in all competitions. He gave 141 yellows, 5 reds, and 7 penalties. Now, is that a lot? Is it not? Well, last season saw 2,007 yellow cards in 552 league games, playoffs not included. That's an average of 3.64 yellows per game. That's your bar to compare against Mr. Smith, and he gave 3.71. So just a shade above the mean. So he does give more yellows than your average ref. He refereed the Blades' 4-0 win against Fulham on the 7th of May 2022. And before that, our 1-1 draw at home against Nottingham Forest.
We like him then.
He's all right.
The last time he refereed us, 4-0. Let's hope he brings us that luck again, shall we?
I want him to be overseeing exactly the same score, please.
Yep. And then we have him for the rest of the season and we win every game 4-0.
Indeed.
I reckon so. Now, let's go into score prediction. And Hal, have you forgot to put a score prediction? Because I've just looked on the script.
There's one there, 0-0.
That you've just forgot to do one, haven't you?
No, I genuinely
Do you wanna have a
think.
go at one?
I think, like as I was saying with the previous time we played them, it was 0. It was a bad game. I think first game of the season, sometimes teams can start a bit sluggish, a bit slow, depending on how they've got on in their pre-season. Watford are going through a few experiments, as I've mentioned, with a change of formation. I think it'll be a really bitty game. I actually don't think Skyle look back at this one as a one they wish they picked, which they did quite a few times last season. I don't see a classic, sorry.
No, that's fair enough. And you know what? I've gone for the exact same outcome, a point each. And I've gone for a goal each. I've gone Watford 1, Sheffield United 1. Lots of Watford fans are also going for draws. They are not confident at all. They all think we're going to go up, like in the top 2, which is nice to hear. It's really
I've
nice
read
to
that.
hear.
I think it's rare that you do get two sets of fans before a game who both say, take a draw now. And it's refreshing, to be honest.
Well,
let us know in the comments your score predictions.
Can't we all just agree to take a draw then, and we don't have to play the game? We move on to the next one.
We all just get along. And Arblaster, a good player, Anthony. Not only is he a good player, he's soon to become, I believe, another contender, Nick, for our Sweet Prince.
Maybe. He needs to go a bit further.
He's been on the channel. That's all that you need to qualify.
Yeah, sort of. Do you know what? I forgot for a second. Then when you said that, I'm like, we haven't interviewed him, but
you filmed him.
I know I did.
You're responsible.
What a guy. And hopefully we can get him on one day. If you're watching, Ollie, make sure you make that happen. We've already had Casper on, and that went really well. So get yourself on, mate. Get yourself on. Now, finally, before we leave, just going to flash up on screen, player connections. And we're not going to give any player connections, are we, Hal? But what I'm going to do, well, I'm not going to. I'm going to let you just rattle through 3 or 4, and then we'll let everybody else in the comments give us their player connections.
I've already mentioned Darius Henderson and Super Danny Webber. You could also have Steve Cabba, of course, Tony Curry, Matthew Spring, maybe even current Wales manager Rob Page. I'll leave it at that. There's loads more. As Nick says, pop them in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Pop them in the comments. Hal gave you more than 3 or 4 there, but I'll let him off as we are. It's our first one back. I said to Hal before this video, I can't remember how to do a match preview, so hopefully we've done it well enough.
This is our pre-season as well.
This is you're absolutely bang on. Maybe we should have done preview. Not previews for the preseason. Preseason doesn't count, does it, Hal?
Don't count.
Anyway, we will see you for another match reaction, or the first match reaction of the season after the Watford game, very late on. Hopefully, I will be talking about a Blades win. Thanks for watching. See you next time.